When you look at these numbers, you'll notice they're easier than before. They're not very big. So we have 24, 36, and 40. Okay. Can anyone see the GCF? I can, but I'm experienced at this. You can't, so now we're going to have to do some work. Thanks, guys. Okay, so 24, we're going to break that down into 4 and what? 6, 2, 2, 2, 3. Okay, so that's the factor tree method. So 24 equals 2 cubed times 3. And then 36. For 36, let's do the other method, the factor ladder. So we can divide by 3 and get 12, 2, 6, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry, I'm not trying to play around here. Come on, thing. There we go. Okay, so then 40 we can do the same. Okay, so 40 we'd get to 2, 20, 2, 10, 2, 5. So then when we're doing this and writing these out, we can see 24 would be 2 cubed times 3. 36 would be 2 squared times 3 squared. And 40 would be 2 cubed times 5. So in this manner, what would be your GCF? The lowest exponent. Okay, so on the 3, well, we don't have a 3 in all of them, so it can't be a 3. Can't be a 5, because 5 is only down below. Looks like 2, and what's the lowest exponent? 2 squared. So your GCF equals 2 squared, which is 4. Okay. Now, just to show you, don't write this down. Okay, we're going to do this for the next one. Remember, we could have done a group division all at once, divide by 2. That's going to be 12, 18, and 10. Divide by 2, they're all even. 6, 9, and 5. Now we can't divide them all by the same number, so your GCF stops. If we wanted to continue, we'd be working on what? Our LCM. Okay, so just reviewing. Now we're done for the LCM. So the LCM is all of them, but the GCF is only the ones that divide all the numbers. Okay. Just reviewing, don't need to know that, okay? Any questions? Okay. Now, I wouldn't even do that. Right? A lot of you, we're going to start looking at it and inspecting it and seeing the GCF. Like 28, 42, and 70. 70 is very particular, isn't it? What's 70 break down into? Does that help you find the GCF at all? Can any of you see it now? 28, 7 and 10. 42, 7 and 10. It's 7. Okay? So sometimes you're going to look at them by inspection and see what the GCF is. Okay, it's 7. And you can guess and check as well. Right? Guess and check, things like that. And you can also go the long way. 28, factors of 28 are 1 and 28, 2 and 14, and 4 and 7. Okay, then you can match them up. Okay, so there's a whole bunch of different ways of doing this. I'm not going to just tell you and make you do one way. All right, now for the letters. Okay. So the same way that we look to the lowest power, which is common to each number, we also look to the lowest power that is common to each variable or letter. Okay, so looking at our numbers, letters, we've never done this. Here we have M5, M cubed. Looking at the M's, what would be the GCF? M cubed. Okay, so you can take that out of both of them. And the ends, what's the lowest exponent on the ends? 2. It's that simple. You just look at it and the GCF's written on the page for you. Your GCF is M cubed N squared. So it's a term. Okay, so that's something new for us. Looking at the next one, what's the GCF of the letters? Ashley? Yeah, x squared is the lowest and y squared is the lowest. What about the numbers? 7 and 48? What's the GCF there? There isn't one. So sometimes you'll just be letters. Okay? Next one. Now find the GCF of the numbers and the letters. Go. GCF for the numbers. 2. Is there another one higher than 2? 4. You can take out 4 of both of them. What about the x? What's the lowest exponent? Squared. What about the y? Is there a y in both of them? Yep. What's the lowest? Y exponent 1. Okay. What about the z? Z exponent 1. All right. Okay, try the next one all by yourself. Go. So, any ideas? Letters, first corner. Good. And anything else for the letters? Good. Y exponent 1. Well done. What about the numbers? Yep. Oh, there's a W here? Oh, okay. Right after 24? Yeah. Okay, so I didn't write in alphabetical order, but that's okay. Does it matter if there's a W there? Is there a W over here? No. So is the W part of the GCF? No. And the reason why is because it's not in here. Okay? Good. What about the numbers now? What's your GCF for the numbers? -6 is correct. Okay? So sometimes you do have negative GCFs. So, what we do is if you're given this instruction simplifying, you would take the 7 and multiply out. So when I give you the instruction simplify, that means to multiply to remove brackets. Okay, and this would be your answer. Whereas if I started with 14x plus 35, I would say to factor. What that means is to divide to add brackets. So we have opposites here. Okay. So what you would do is divide both of these by 7. And that's the GCF. Okay, so I'm just defining what the simplify and factoring mean. They're different terms, different meanings. So, let's start doing some of this stuff. First thing you want to do is find the GCF. Then, number 2, divide out the GCF. 3, write the polynomial. Okay, so you're going to write a multiplication type deal here. You're going to write a, okay, product of the GCF and the remainder. This is your answer for the question, sorry. Okay, so let's have a look here. 6x minus 18. What's our GCF? Do both of them have x's? Nope. So look at the numbers. Where is it? 6. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 6x minus 18 divided by 6. And what we did last year in grade 9 is we said, well, that's like 6x divided by 6 minus 18 divided by 6. Both parts are divided. Okay. Now what's going to happen is we're going to do this for a couple questions, but then you're going to do it in your head and just write the first part. Okay, but you need to understand what's going on. So what we do is divide it, then we write it as the GCF times the remainder. So our GCF is 6, and what's the remainder for the above division? Oh, what's 6x divided by 6? Simply x, right? 1x. Negative 18 divided by 6? Negative 3. Not bad. That's your answer, folks, right here. And that's your answer. 6 times bracket x minus 3 bracket. How many people think they can do that? Yeah, it's not too bad. Okay, next one. 6x squared minus 18. What's your GCF? 6 and the letters? X squared. So I want you to write that out until we get used to that, and there's a specific reason for that, this question, as both top terms being divided by the GCF. Because that's what's happening when you're doing that type of division. Dividing everything above each term. So we write it as a GCF, and now we do our division, we put our remainder in brackets. See what you can do. It's a bit of a challenge, this one. On your mind, that first part, ha ha ha. Is there nothing? What's 6 divided by 6? 1. That's not nothing, that's something. Okay. What's x squared divided by x squared? 1. That's a weird one, okay? Get it? Anyways, but it's 1. So we have to write something there, always. And I'll show you why in a second. Minus 3x. Probably everyone got that. Now this is why. If I have 6x squared times 1 minus 3x, when I multiply these together, what's 6x squared times 1? 6x squared. That's important. What's 6x squared times negative 3x? Negative 18x cubed. So when you multiply them, you go to the starting product. Okay? So what we have here, this here is the product, and these here are the factors. So you have to be able to multiply back and forth here. Multiplying, dividing. Okay? You guys okay with that? That's an important connection to make. It helps you check. So this is in fact your answer right here. Okay? Don't forget about that 1. We're going to throw this at you. Guarantee you, right? Because it's a common mistake to put a 0 there. Okay, next one. What's your GCF? Nope. 5Z. Okay? So 5Z goes outside your brackets, and what's your remainder inside? Go. Okay, what is it, Haley? So 2Z squared minus 3Z or Z, and then that's it? Good. Plus 1, okay? So you got to put the plus sign too. Awesome. Well done, Haley. How many people got that? Hands up. Awesome. Next one. Go. Factor it, please. I know you're daydreaming. Did you get the GCF? No? Okay. Austin? 7x squared. Yep, that's right. Good job. So divide them all by 7x squared. Okay. Remainder goes in the brackets. What's the first term? Kayla.
2x.
Thanks, Kayla. That's okay. Kayla, next middle term. Good. Last term. Kaya. Good. Plus 4. Perfect. Hands up, you got that. How many people think they can do GCF? How many people think we're going to go a little bit harder? Just a tiny bit, okay? So just some more complicated junk, okay? So now you have 2 letters. Go for it, though. Find your GCF, and then divide. Remainder goes in the brackets. GCF. Jordan Watkins. Perfect, well done. Okay, continue. Pav and P, first term. Good. Alina, middle term. Yeah, that's it, 2n. And don't forget it's a negative, okay, because of the sign. Good. Last term, Jesse. Good job on that, +1. Anyone forget that? Usually there is, right? You have a +1 at the end. It divides perfectly to 1. Perfect. Okay. So some people have looked at number 6. What's different? What did you notice? Yep. What do you mean change your signs? Okay, so you have to be careful with your signs? Okay. Why? Yeah. Look at all those negative signs. You're going to have a negative GCF. Typically, if you start with a negative sign, then you're going to get a negative GCF. Okay? So that's kind of the rules, that you're starting with a negative sign. Now, all right? Go for it. The negative GCF, be careful with your divisions. What is my GCF? Sarah? That looks good. Okay. So now this goes in front of the brackets. Okay. Taryn, what's the first term? Good. Taranjeet, what's the middle term? Good. Watching those signs. And Jared, what's the last one? Good. Okay. Is it hard? Not too hard. Do you have to be careful? Absolutely. Okay. This stuff is, you can't make a mistake. You gotta be perfect with it. We call these Mr. Barker questions, right? You gotta be perfect with it. Okay, now you guys. Okay, number 7. What do you think? This one's weird, right? It looks weird, doesn't it? It's not. What's your GCF? What can you divide out of each term? It's kind of smacking in the face, but it doesn't look like a normal GCF. What can you divide? What do both of those terms have that you can remove? Not just an A, but A plus 3B. So your GCF now is a term, A plus 3B. So just like before, your GCF goes at the front. So we have A plus 3B. Because it's a term, we have to put brackets around it, and that's something new. Okay, because it's not just like a single term like all the rest. There's 2 of them. You got to put brackets around it. What's your remainder? What goes in the brackets? 5x minus 9y. Wasn't that hard, was it? Okay. Next one. Divide by your GCF. Tell me what goes in the brackets. What's the GCF? Hardeep? Good. And what's so special about that y minus 4 when you write it up front? Good. You got to put it in brackets, okay? And what is the remainder? Oh, I'm going to pick on prep.
3x squared minus 2x plus 3.
Dead easy or what? It is, okay? Next, GCF using tiles. Did I switch these on your sheet? No, I still have them. The first one's a little bit weird. I'll totally admit that, okay? We don't often, actually, I don't think we do too many. This one is something you wouldn't really see on a test because it's kind of weird. What's the GCF, though? what does this here is 1, 2, 3x squared. How many x's? Plus 9x. And how many 1 tiles? 18? How much? 15? 8. 6 times 3, 18. Okay. So you know what I did? I totally cheated here. Because I can see my GCF when I look at this. It's okay to cheat, folks. You're allowed to figure out the puzzle different ways. So what's your GCF now? See, that's the weird part. It's simply 3. Right? All those, it's 3. And that's why this is a weird puzzle, and I wouldn't give it to you. Okay, it doesn't quite make sense. Okay, and then your answer would be x squared. Okay, plus how many x's? 3x. Plus 6. Okay, so it's kind of weird, isn't it? Okay, but the next one you can absolutely do. It just goes with all our tiles. Okay, go ahead, try the next one. So trace the lines. And I want you to write the division statement. I guess you could say factoring statement. Or, I think a better way to keep it similar to what we've done up above is to do this. Raise a multiplication statement, okay? Either of those are fine. I've never asked for that before, I just kind of made it up. So, but that's, right, it makes sense though, writing those. All right.